Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. In light of recent events, we are going to talk about OP1 Field, while other manufacturers either pass on savings from process optimization or relentlessly jack up prices once people are actually buying their music-making toys. Our favorite interior design company / copyright agency / Nepo baby cult just flexed their monstrous marketing muscle and did both at the same time. At the first glance, OP1 Field is ticking all the Schrödinger's pricing strategy boxes. The outrage over the half-baked 2022 Field update, has made room for general "things are far too expensive anyway" attitude, so Swedish synth Balenciaga came up with yet another publicity stunt that lets you choose your own price for a brand new OP1. As long as it's at least double the price, average Western world synth nerds would be somewhat comfortable taking up a mortgage for. In case your 2010s venture capital investment paid off handsomely, you can crank the lever to a whopping
$1 million.
$9,999 bucks. Virality through Ragebait 101 aside, the Field version looks suspiciously similar to the original OP1. While the old knobs looked more trustworthy, USB-C is much appreciated, as is the switch from 2007 plastic MacBook aesthetics to 2017 iMac aluminum chic. However, it's all about the inner values anyway, and let's put it this way, there isn't all too much OG OP1 enjoyers will need to get used to. The entire concept still revolves around one mono-timbral 6-voice multi-engine synth with an added Juno for Dummies algorithm, you can switch this lonesome sound generator to a drum sampler and synth section, and play all this using either the satisfyingly clicky yet velocity-less internal keyboard, USB and Bluetooth MIDI, or one of the internal sequencers ranging from a classic 16-step variety and overcomplicated transpose function to "Mom, can we have Monkey Drummer? No, there's Monkey Drummer at home." And tried and tested Insta-worthy gimmicks. The LFO section is fun. In order to turn these musical concoctions into arrangements of which the machine can hold up to 8, you need to record them onto 6 minutes of virtual time. Editing is still basic, loop points are rough around the edges, sequencers are barely syncable to tape, and if you are missing an undo functionality, you need to practice. TE is also working hard to make the minidisc revival a thing, and in contrast to its predecessor, the entire signal path of Field is now 32-bit stereo. Speaking of which, the Tron meets Metropolis meets Space Odyssey Reverb sounds totally awesome. The mixer, albeit aesthetically pleasing, doesn't allow for send-return routings, which is seriously limiting, but there's another FX engine dedicated to master processing duties. You can listen to the results via an upgraded mini-jack output, your own private pirate radio station, send note information to the TE ecosystem via Bluetooth, and record a mix to virtual vinyl. Build quality and battery life are ready for a prolonged yoga retreat vacation on Bali, and thanks to Tom of Synth Anatomy for lending me the most expensive part of his ambient setup. The original OP1 was one of the defining instruments of the 2010s. Is the Field version a worthy successor, and, much more importantly, did anybody pay the $10,000? You have already heard Field in today's intro tune. That's probably the least hipster version I could squeeze out of the machine. Time to start this out with the usual postmodern multi-track mashup.
That wasn't so hard, and I only rage quit twice. Just like in the old days, you need to actually nail your parts, but even a 1990 Tascam 688 had more tracks and more convenient sync options. I'm not a big fan of the overall sequencer workflow. Let's add some analog drums and a specialist from a more forward-thinking company. I should have sampled all the OP1 induced profanities, but unfortunately I ran out of tape machine tracks. The synth engines sound great, but I'm certainly not the target group for the over-designed interface and limited set of parameters. Every week I look forward to turning off the cameras and taking another deep dive into a piece of gear for the finale. This time not so much, because I need to hook up the OP1 field to my computer and produce some. There's a reason why real studios had assistants for handling tape machines back in the day, because it truly sucks. Lo-fi OP two-step. There's no lack of great artists who put OP1s of both generations to good use, and although I have no idea how they do it and why on earth they decided to go down that route in the first place, I deeply respect that. However, I personally would prefer to menu dive ancient Rolands in hell until the end of eternity to making music on an OP1 in a tropical resort. Function follows form in places where I needed the least, deliberately frustrating limitations in both UI and feature set, and an overall approach that sends you back in time to an era I am happy to have left behind. Thankfully, I'm not at risk of spending too much money on an OP1 field, regardless of whether it's $13.99 or
a bajillion dollars.
But my financial advisor is afraid of the day when I find out I might actually want one of these. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and use one of the links down below that support the channel regardless of what your bad gear gas commands you to buy.